Thursday, May the 12th. It is a beautiful start to the day. I'm first morning meteorologist Eric Burris. This is Coffee Talk, where we get together 7 days a week in the morning to chat about what's going on in the world of weather, making sure you have everything you need to know, not only out the door, but also through the day and in these next 6 or so months. You know exactly what may or may not be brewing in the tropics. And let me tell you something. Hurricane season may not be here, but how we've, for the last few years, been tracking something in the month of May. And this month may be no different. The top two things we're watching for you right out the gate. Of course, we are watching that storm system that we have talked about for the better part of a week. It is moving closer and closer, and that means that the rains will be returning to Central Florida. We'll, of course, have all the details on that running through Futurecast and getting you your hour-by-hour rain chance forecast. Then after that, tracking the tropics? Yeah, as I mentioned, we just may have yet again another early start to the hurricane season. Those stories and more coming up in the next half hour. Thank you for joining us as we get you going on a beautiful Thursday morning. Here's a shot from our Kennedy Space Center Tower Cam network. It is beautiful out that way. The sun is shining. There are some clouds. And what we're noticing is that off the shoreline, there are even some showers. Over to our first warning live Doppler radar. The good news is we haven't seen a lot of this rain moving in, but that rain offshore inching closer and closer and closer to us as that bigger storm system moves in. So let's just take a look and see where it is raining. Right on the Brevard-Volusia line, we're watching some shower activity right now. You can see a little pocket of heavier rain. That's going to eventually work over towards Scottsmore and Mims there along I-95. And that's kind of the overall setup this morning. A couple of coastal showers certainly around. May see some more rains developing in through the afternoon. Temperatures are looking dynamite though, aren't they? 69 in Orlando, 64 degrees in the Villages, 63 in Ocala. And over these next few days, we'll watch the humidity, the heat, all building. By next week, remember yesterday on Coffee Talk, we were discussing heat index values in the triple digits, actual air temperatures, according to the computer models, running like 97 degrees. That sounds terrible. But yet, that sounds like our forecast. Everybody at WESH was making fun of me yesterday for it. I was complaining about 97 degree air temperature, and they're like, get in your pool. Touche, I suppose. David, good morning to you. Marie, Karen, good morning. Tom, good morning. How are you? Frank, David, good morning, good morning, good morning. How you doing? Chris, good morning to you. Jennifer, good morning. So it's a beautiful, beautiful start to the day. It's going to be a nice one, but we do track those rain chances with us. So take a look at our 12-hour forecast. 10% chance of rain this morning, our coastal communities, I'm talking to you. And then through the day, we'll watch those rain chances rising. 1 o'clock, 30% coverage of showers, even a few thunder showers. High temperature around 83 or so today. So the temperatures are feeling good. That north wind continues. So what's going on? Bigger perspective, just kind of to set the stage on our overall weather scenario here, okay? So we know that the temperatures, the breeze continues. Let's take a look at the satellite and radar. And just outside, just on the right-hand side, that's where that storm system is located. I'll bring it full screen so that you can see. Counterclockwise circulation. This is not anything tropical in nature, I'm happy to say, but you could see the rains kind of swirling in. Let me broaden this perspective just a little bit, and you can see that storm system getting closer and closer and closer to us. Yeah, lots of moisture out east of it. But on the west side, we're bringing in subsidence. We're bringing in some more stable, subtly drier air. And that's what we've been enjoying in Central Florida. These last couple of days, have you noticed it has felt odd? Our temperatures have been below average. Yeah, it's been just dynamite outside, as a matter of fact. But that said, the wave action, that has been a concern. Take a look here over the next couple of days. The wave action at our area beaches is going to be calming down. 5 to 7 foot seas offshore with breakers running 4 to 6 today, down to a 2 to 3 foot breaker for your Friday and your Saturday. And then going a bit calmer looking ahead to Sunday. All thanks to this storm system around, okay? So let's talk a little bit about this storm system. What's happening? Obviously, it's very near us. We're staying breezy off the East Coast, but as it kind of works our direction, we're going to shift those winds around. Instead of those nice, cooler, drier, northerly winds, we're going to start to enjoy westerly heat producing winds. And it's going to bring, as that kind of core gets into our area, it's going to bring with it showers, even a few thunder showers. And eventually we get into like this south-southwesterly wind. It's really going to be pumping up those rain chances and heat humidity conditions. So for today, when we look at the chances of rain, by far and away, the better chances of rain are east because it makes sense. That storm system is east of us and we'll be working in. 30% chance of rain through the metro, 40% chance of rain through the Space Coast, and about a 30% chance of rain back over toward like Volusia and Flagler counties. Now to zero in on this, let's just talk about temperatures first and foremost for the day, okay? So for today, high temperatures look like this. 84 degrees, the warmer reading there in Ocala. 83 degrees in Claremont, 83 degrees in Orlando, and into the kind of I-95 corridor there, 77 in Daytona Beach, 79 degrees in Melbourne. I apologize, I'm kind of skipping through your comments here as I'm trying to just get through. There's a lot of information on a day like today, so I do apologize. I've not been reading a ton of comments. I'm going to get better at that. But I'm working my way through this weather story. Let me pull up Futurecast. Let's zero through Futurecast today, and then we can talk comments, okay? I apologize. Just have to get through this. All right, so, okay. No, that's the wrong button. That's the rainfall accumulation. I think this is the one I want. It is. All right, so I'll bring it full screen for you. And you can see most of the rain sitting just off of the East Coast, okay? Perfect. That is to be expected. That's exactly what we saw in our first morning live Doppler radar, so we're good there. Through lunchtime, notice that we're running a shower or two along the Volusia-Flagler coastline, but still mostly dry. Then into the afternoon, we're going to start to bring in some of that moisture. Could see a few popcorn showers developing. I think that this flavor of Futurecast is actually underdoing it a little bit. Let me look over to this one. Again, you know, models are guidance, not gospel, so we have to remember that. We have to remember, guidance, not gospel. Let's run through this Futurecast and just kind of see, a couple of showers along the coastline. See, this one looks to me to be a little bit better. I kind of like this idea. A few showers marching through the interior. And then kind of keeping us dry. And then looking ahead to tonight, as that storm system very much gets closer, we'll kind of start to see the heat and humidity developing more rain chances for tomorrow, okay? So that's kind of why we're outlining our East Coast communities as having the best chance of rain for today, all right? Gorgeous morning in Ocala, Don says. Indeed it is. Good morning to you. I hope you're doing well. Good morning from Palm Coast Ford. Hope everyone has a fantastic day. Robin, good morning to you. Glad to see you joining us. I truly enjoy watching the weather with you. Vicky, thank you so much. Clear, concise, and complete. Thank you. Thank you for the kind words. I do appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Then my brother says, I'm breezy. Everybody has nice things to say, intelligent things to say, and then the Burris chimes in. What does that say? Don says, I didn't get any notifications today again. I apologize. I don't know. You know, Facebook and their algorithm, sometimes they hit it. Sometimes they quit it. Oh, well. What are you going to do, right? Don't apologize. We happily talk to ourselves. Well, that's true. You do. I just want to always be here to entertain as much as inform, right? Nancy, good morning to you. How are you? Let's see here. The goat of on-air Mets. Oh, Carolyn, you're such a putz. I love it. But you're so right. Harvey Leonard is absolutely the greatest. Yeah, Carolyn brings up a good point. I tweeted this yesterday. Harvey Leonard at our sister station in Boston. I always love when we talk about different people as the GOATs. Harvey Leonard, the chief meteorologist at WCVB in Boston, announced his retirement. Carolyn calls him the GOAT of on-air Mets, and Carolyn is not wrong. He is so good. I feel like we've watched him on Coffee Talk, but I would love, maybe I can get him on Coffee Talk and just chat with him. If you've never watched him, I beg you to go to YouTube and type in Harvey Leonard weather and just watch a little bit. The guy is so good. The guy is just so good to watch. I have tried to be him. Truthfully, I have tried to be Harvey Leonard. I really do. I encourage you to watch. Kelly says, I'm with your brother. We tease because we care. Giddy up. Mickey over on YouTube. Good morning, Eric. Hope you are having a great start to your day. So how hot are we talking next week? Yeah, well, there's that too. It's getting very, very hot. Let's talk about things, all right? We'll look at the 7-day forecast in a moment, but we're getting to midsummer's heat. And I do feel like this always happens. Like we have a real spike in temperatures right before the rainy season begins. And then the rainy season kind of helps to regulate things. So today we're talking about a high temperature of about 83 degrees. That's super cool. Looking to tomorrow, though, we're into the mid-range of the 90s. It's going to be a hot one. A very hot one. And as we've looked at on Coffee Talk, there's even hotter temperatures according to the blend of models. If you just take all the model guidance and blend it together, they yesterday were talking 95, 96, 97. The actual blend was showing 97 for a peak heat next week. So we're absolutely getting into full-on awful heat. Okay? Carolyn says, I love you too, Eric. You're too young for GOAT status. I don't want that responsibility of being GOAT status. You're a putz because you used GOAT and meteorology together, which I love. And putz is a term of endearment. But no, I listen. I don't want the responsibility of being the GOAT. Although I do wonder if Harvey's retiring, does Mike Harvey at TAE in Pittsburgh get the new title? Who gets the new GOAT title? Lee Goldberg at WABC? Who? It's funny. The first person that when I posted my tweet about Harvey Leonard retiring, it was Lee Goldberg that liked that tweet up at WABC in New York City. And I'm like, Lee, you may be the new GOAT. I thought in that moment, I was like, but don't you retire, Lee. You're too darn young. Anyway, these are all really, really good meteorologists. I mean, we hang out for Coffee Talk. Understand, all I'm wanting to do is mold myself after these people, you know? It's going to be hot, hot. Judy says, indeed it is. Indeed it is. Debbie says, I miss Lee Goldberg. Dude is the real... I love Lee. Not only do I love watching Lee, but if you've never met Lee Goldberg, he's the chief meteorologist at WABC, ABC7 in New York City. He's just as nice of a guy off air as he is on air. So, yeah, that's the truth. Bruce says, yep, everyone's comments aren't coming in. I can see your comment, Bruce. At least there's that, bud. At least there's that. Tom says, not Cantori, that's for sure. Jim's a good guy. He's a lot of personality. He's a lot of personality. That's all I could say. He's a lot of personality. He's a good guy. He's a good guy. All right, so we know that the heat is building. We also know that we're coming up on a couple of opportunities for some tropical moisture. So let's do this. Give me 2 seconds to turn the computer around. What I want to do is pull up the raw GFS and just take a gander at what the computer models are showing. Yeah, we may not be into hurricane season technically just yet, but don't tell Mother Nature because Mother Nature's trying to get feisty. All right, we'll do this. That is the raw GFS, what you're looking at there, okay? This is mean sea level pressure anomaly. What that means is that it's showing the isobars, which is normal, but the coloration, think of it as like taking and adding dye to like, what is it, an MRI, is that, or a CAT scan? The blues, that's lowered pressure. The oranges, that's higher pressure. So blue sitting off our coast. No surprise here, right? We know that that's an area of low pressure. That's a storm system. All right, let me bring this full screen, and let's just kind of come through and analyze. All right, so that area of low pressure comes to Florida, brings us rising rain chances these next couple of days, and then it kind of turns our winds around and builds up that heat. All right, then we look around Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, little area of low pressure exiting Florida. That's probably the Florester cycle, although there may be another something that's the Florester cycle. I don't know. I have to go in and case study it, but... watch what happens on the GFS. That's Wednesday, that's Thursday, that's Friday of next week. Watch Central America. You get what's called a CAGLO, or a Central American gyre. Basically, you've just kind of got this area of convergence. It kind of spins up a little piece of energy right at the L in the word talk. Coffee Talk L. You see that little area of green off the shoreline there, just above the L? That is what I'm talking about. Watch that through time. Okay? What you doing there? What you doing there? What are you doing? What are you doing over there? All right, this is the 6Z. Not really pooling anything too strong, but it's showing moisture. It's trying to show something organizing, okay? The GFS has now really zeroed in on trying to spin something up. Closed low, open low, something. It's still an area of low pressure. It's still stormy weather, okay? I went in, I'll tell you, so that's after the Floreaster signal. I went in yesterday to case study this, and I did find that about 5 to 7 days after the Floreaster, I found this satellite imagery. So they're about 5 to 7 days after the Floreaster, there is a signal in that exact spot of moisture billowing. Okay, now it didn't stand out as being anything strong, so it wasn't included in our hurricane forecast. I'm curious to see how this plays out, if I'm honest with you. We're not going to get everyone in our hurricane forecast. And the GFS is starting to back off on this a little bit. If we were to go from the 6Z run to the 0Z run, you could see, I mean, it's showing like a hurricane, right? So the GFS backing off a little bit, showing something out there. If we were to switch over to the European model, the 6Z Euro is running as we speak. We'll just kind of go through here. There's the Floreaster signal pulling away from Florida, kind of getting to the end. And notice that the European couldn't be any more opposite. The European is kind of saying high pressure, a sea of high pressure. So, you know, it's one of those things. I've got a lot of friends that I've kind of worked on with the LRC, and they're all like freaking out. Oh my God, what is this? That's not a part of your LRC. And it's just like, computer models are guidance, not gospel. Computer models are guidance, not gospel. But it says a category hurricane. Computer models are guidance, not gospel. Okay? So the European hasn't chimed in on it just yet. If we come over and take a look at the European ensemble, kind of longer run. All right, here's a look at the ensemble. Let me scroll this down so that you can get as clear a view as you can. That's 300. Yeah, I mean, 324, 330, 336 hours, still high pressure. Yeah, so the European is absolutely not showing it. Okay? The GFS ensemble, let's just look at all the lows. Let me pull this up here. Give me 2 seconds. Yeah, the GFS and the family of GFS ensembles trying to show something. Okay? I'm not saying that it's wrong. I'm just saying you have to take everything, especially early hurricane season. Yeah, you can kind of see some of those low members developing. But they're starting to show it earlier. So I'm wondering if it's actually the Floreaster signal that they're trying to zero in on, you know? Because that's Friday, May 20th. And then they're kind of blossoming lows there. If you look at the Floreaster part of the weather pattern here, the Floreaster part of the weather pattern does show like mid-May, okay? And frankly, that would only be a couple of days early. I've marked on the monthly calendar, I've marked the Floreaster as coming through early next week. Is it shift a couple of days? It's possible. You know, the LRC does ebb and flow sometimes. So nothing there is set in stone. But I do want to make sure, because some people may start seeing the hype stuff posted. The GFS is showing something. The European is not showing something. But at any rate, whether something develops or not, kind of is less important than just the overall idea that hurricane season is right around the corner. 21 days or so until the beginning of hurricane season, right? Is it 21 or did we just change? I feel like I updated that yesterday. It's 20 days. Hold on, Burris. Stand by. Accuracy matters. Stand by. 20 days until hurricane season. Yep. Yep. Stand by. There we go. That's what I'm trying to say. 20 days until hurricane season. But since 2015, we have had a named storm every year since June 1st. The Hurricane Center is not going to name something if it doesn't deserve it, but certainly the models are trying to show stuff, and, we'll be here warning you. But I do want to encourage you to stay tuned. I don't run commercials on Coffee Talk, so I'm not here trying to make money. I'd love to. But I'm not. So my ask for you to stay tuned has nothing to do with money. It has everything to do with, hey, we're into hurricane season, so let's pay attention, people, right? That's all. Let's see here. All right, now to your comments. Good morning to you, Earl. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Kenneth, good morning to you. John says, not sure if I'll make the 3:30 Coffee Talk today. That's okay. That's okay. Debbie's asked if Chris Pierce is here. He is. I've seen him. Yep. Let's see here. Looking through comments. There is a knock in the back. I have no idea, Marilyn, what you're talking about. Andrew says the NHC global hazards have above average rainfall during this period. Right. And low pressure certainly can develop rain. That's the whole point, right? And the question is whether or not we get tropical moisture, right? Does it spin up or not spin up? Andrew, by the way, is one of the people that has certainly been working through the LRC as well. Tom's asking or stating, be interested to see if we break the cycle since 2015, if a named storm prior to June 1st, and what that may mean. Yeah, we'll have to see. Aaron points out Florida's actually been lucky with hurricane activity for the past few decades, for the most part, the exception being 0405. I could think of 92 being an exception. I could think of that year as well. Yeah, there's a lot there. What is a CAG going to look like in 60 days? Well, again, if you're looking at the cycles may change. CAGs usually love early season. Once you get into late season, the focus shifts away from the CAG, Central American gyre, and start looking more toward the African waves. And if you recall, I think it was Sunday we had our first African wave come off of the coast. Faded as soon, but it was the first true tropical wave of the year. So, we're not in Cabo Verde season at all. As a matter of fact, when we look at early hurricane season, June 1st, of course, being the start officially of hurricane season. But when we look to the kind of month by month tropical system development regions, this is where we typically look for early season development. Right, from the Caribbean for the most part. Why? Because of those CAGs, those Central American gyres, those little pieces of spin that kind of pop up just north of the equator. You get just enough of the Coriolis force, and then it kind of lifts it up toward the Gulf and, of course, toward Florida. So remember, though, one thing to point out, Florida's climatology, our weather as a whole, depends on at least one tropical system a year. Did you know that? Big, weak, rainy thing. So, for what it's worth, keep that in mind. Annie says, I do mornings, social media only. That's okay. That's okay. Listen, this is our main Coffee Talk. We do the 3:30 update, and we do chat, and it's great. But certainly, it's not as viewed as this. More people are on here, for sure. And especially as we get into hurricane season, I'm sure those numbers, they always do. It's always busy during hurricane season, and it's always a bit quieter during the off season. And that's fine. We hang out, we talk about the weather. But hurricane season, it's like all business, right? It's just the way it goes. Kathy, this is when? What is when? It says June there. Those are just typical June formation zones. That's all that's saying. Yeah, so hurricane season right around the corner. We may have something that's trying to develop. But either way, I just want to be very clear. Either way, it's important to remember that we stick out like a sore thumb here in Florida. So we just have to watch these things, right? That's all. And a reminder that, with rain chances going up, we are now roughly 16 days from the average start of hurricane season. Excuse me, the wet season. So we're kind of, we're building all to this. Little by little by little, we're building to this. All right? So there's that. Not too bad. Next couple of days, though, starting to watch those temperatures climbing, my friends. 83 our high temperature today. We're looking at a nice 87 by Friday. And then if we look ahead to our 7-day forecast, you'll notice those temperatures are on their way up, right? Yeah, we get into the 90s by this weekend, mid-90s by Tuesday and Wednesday. And if we just look, I just briefly want to check in here and look at the National Blend of Models. Because remember, the last 2 days, the National Blend of Models was showing 97 for next week. Let's see what it's showing. Oh, it came down. It's 96. Great. It's a cool front. But you do note, I mean, it's pretty consistent, like 91, 93, 94, 96, 96. And it'll hold that 96. Notice those morning lows in the 60s to the lower 70s. What that's telling me is that we're setting the summer heat pattern up. If we don't get any more cold fronts and we start developing those storm systems, boom. What will happen is the models will say that heat until the storms start to develop. And then once the storms start to develop, it breaks the heat bubble and we kind of just set into the rainy season. So it sure does look like we're kind of on our way to that. Here's a look, though. Notice Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, like we don't have the moisture necessarily there for it. But by Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we may start to get there. So we very well may be getting into the rainy season here just a couple of days early, which is fine with me, you know? Yeah. Bruce, I missed the drive-through. Will it come back someday? Yeah, you know, we you know, with the family stuff, I wasn't able to get the drive-through going. It takes a little bit more work, and I just didn't have that availability these last couple of months. But yeah, hopefully this fall, after hurricane season into the winter, I would love to be able to get the drive-through back going. I think it's fun. David, you need to have Al Roker on Coffee Talk. That's true. I do need to reach out to him. He and I did the same surgery. We were both the tubby weather people. You know, it would be really cool to chat about his career, to chat about his surgery. Has that impacted his career at all? You know, yeah, that would be a good one. We also need to get Gary Lezak on to talk about the LRC. He's already agreed to do it. Yeah. Oh, very cool, Becca. Listen, so many of the graphics that, well, every graphic you see almost on WESH 2 has an Excel component to it. Believe it or not. This 7-day forecast is an Excel spreadsheet that we put together. We put our computer models together. We look at everything, and we input our forecast information on an Excel spreadsheet. We push one macro button, and it updates every graphic in our weather system. All of the sponsors, the top right corner there, you see how there was a sponsor, now it's gone? That's an Excel spreadsheet that runs through his task scheduler. So so we've got at 8:31, I think at 8:31, there will be another sponsor that'll pop up there. We have a sponsorship Excel spreadsheet that automatically runs. Just like our commercial department runs a traffic log, we've got our own sponsorship traffic log on our weather graphics. Yeah. What's the long range looking like for the weekend of July 9th? Yeah, let's take a look. Here's July. I don't recall early July having anything, at least in our area. Yeah, July 9th. The same storm system that's coming toward us that came off the northeast United States around the 8th, 9th, 10th, it's going to be like recycling somewhere. For July, it's looking more like the 20th and the 21st. That's when we're going to have to start to look at things. By the way, just a reminder, you're asking about the calendars and everything. You can get our entire forecast by heading to wesh.com/hurricane forecast. wesh.com/hurricane forecast. It's a fancy address there. Yeah. Taylor says, Florista coming through, I think. Well, it's going to. That's the idea. That's the idea, right? Make a forecast. You want it to pan out, whether or not you like it. Yeah, I'm a spreadsheet macro, exactly. I just remembered, did you ever get your poor man's boat? Did I ever get the poor man's boat? Yeah. My grandson is 3 weeks old today. This grandma's very busy at my son and daughter-in-law's house. That's good. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. Yeah, you can see at 8:30, there's another sponsor just popped up. So there you go. That's the macro that's just kind of always going through and through and through. So kind of cool stuff. All right. All right. Any questions, comments, concerns, people? Any questions, comments, concerns? All looks good to me. I say again, enjoy these temperatures this morning because you can see the 70s in the morning are right around the corner. Those rising humidity levels right around the corner. Building heat right around the corner. And hurricane season. Hurricane season. Literally right around the corner. All right? All right. Be the sunshine in someone else's day. Thank you so much for hanging out for Coffee Talk. I will see you guys and gals this afternoon at 3:30 for the afternoon Coffee Talk update. We'll look at more computer models, see what the new data is showing, where the GFS and the euro going. The GFS, is it going to be consistent in trying to develop this area of low pressure at the end of the month? Does the European latch on? All the drama, the building drama. You have to stay tuned. I'll see you.